Yeshua or Yahshua? Is the Messiah's real name Yeshua or Yahshua? I have a Bible with the sacred names in it that translates it to Yahshua, but some folks say it's Yeshua. Well, from my POV, Jesus isn't the Messiah at all. But you are asking a simple enough question about transliteration of names from Hebrew into English. Important to know. Hebrew is not English. Hebrew is not like English. English is actually closer to Greek than it is to Hebrew. The only information we actually have about the real name of Jesus is from Greek, in the New Testament. Nobody knows what this guy's Hebrew name might have been, and in fact, at that particular time and place, it is possible that the Greek version in the New Testament actually is his real name. Jews at that time sometimes gave their kids Greek names. Philo of Alexandria is one example of a well-known historical Jew with a Greek name. So in Greek, in the New Testament, the closest English version would be something like Isis. That final es is likely a Greek addition, assuming this is a transliteration into Greek of an original Hebrew name. Masculine Greek names would take that s. Hebrew wouldn't. So maybe the name was more like Iesou. Also, that initial I would likely have been yod in Hebrew, which would enter English either as y, if moving directly from Hebrew to English, or as a j, if moving from Hebrew into Latin, through German, and then into English. Changing a Hebrew yod, y, into an English j is really common. Most of the names you are familiar with from your English language Bible, which start with j, are actually yod, y, in Hebrew. For example, Jacob is Yaakov. Jeremiah is Yirmiyahu. Joseph is Yosef. Jotham is Yodam. And Joshua is Yoshua. So, another point, Hebrew has a letter called a shin. Sometimes this letter has the sound of the English sh, and sometimes it has the sound of the English s. So that es in the middle of that name is likely actually a shin, and I in Hebrew probably was pronounced like sh, which is more common than hes for that letter. So, Isis could very well be brought into English by Yeshu, which is a known nickname for Joshua. It could also be brought into English as Yahshua, Joshua, or as Yehoshua, also a valid English possibility for Joshua. All those versions are perfectly good versions of the same name. And if somebody wants to emphasize that the YH syllable at the beginning is a Theophoric, a God name element, from the four-letter name of God by spelling it YAH instead of a YEH, or just YH, then that's fine too. Hebrew doesn't consider vowels to be actual letters, and the Hebrew alphabet doesn't have any. What I am trying to explain to you is that, from the original Hebrew point of view, there is literally no difference at all between a Yeshua and Yahshua. None. It's just that the second spelling is somebody trying to be clever and cute by emphasizing the connection between a very common name element in Hebrew names, part of the name of God, and that same element in this particular name, as if that meant something. Hebrew names with either YH or EL are routine. Both are theophoric elements. A theophoric element is a name with part of a God name in it. This is common in that region, in many different cultures. Here are some examples of a few Hebrew names with a theophoric elements. Daniel, El is God. Michael, El is God. Elijah has both El and YH. Jah is actually a YH. Elisha has El. Jeremiah has the YH. Joshua has the YH, in Hebrew, Yoshua. Judah, YH, in Hebrew, this is Judah. The English versions of these names do not invariably show that those theophoric syllables are present. The only thing different between a Yeshua and a Yahshua is that the second spelling is being manipulated to show you, the reader, this theophoric element, which is not rare. So a Jesus is a perfectly good English transliteration of the Greek Isis, if that name gets moved through from Greek to English by way of German or maybe French, a common root for many words. And a Joshua is a perfectly good assumption for a Hebrew original which might end up as Isis in Greek. Although the original could have been Yeshua instead, which is sort of like saying Tom is a pretty good version of Thomas. Basically, if somebody is trying to tell you that Yahshua is somehow different in any important way from Yeshu or Yeshua, that person is blowing smoke. It's not actually different, and the difference you are seeing is not important. Also, Jesus just might have actually been named Isis. It's not impossible. By the way, the name Isis was actually not all that rare as a given name in Judea at the time. It shows up in burial box inscriptions and in common surviving literature, like legal records, as a name. Isis is commonly taken as a Greek version of the Hebrew name Yeshua, Joshua, or Yeshu, a shorter version of Yeshua. Maybe a better question might be, why do you think it is important to know some kind of exactly right name in the first place? Doesn't everybody already know who you are talking about if you use the name Jesus? Have a great day and thanks for watching. Please press the like button if you believe this video was informative. Also press the subscribe buttons to receive new content from our channel.